The latest news in North Central Washington, go to NCWLIFE.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@NCWLIFE.com or call 888-2020. Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. What a gorgeous day today. We did see a few more clouds than we've seen the last couple of days. I believe this is our Orondo camera looking up the Columbia River, and you see those high clouds in the background. We did see that. That's because an area of low pressure is just throwing some clouds our way. We'll talk more about that in a little while, but first let's get to that Memorial Day weekend forecast. And see the thunderstorms today? That's not for us. That's mainly over into eastern Washington and into the panhandle of Idaho. For us, very warm temperatures both Sunday and Memorial Day. Yeah, right there you see it. Sunday, our high 86. And our high on Memorial Day Monday, a beautiful 88 degrees. Your complete weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. It's still unknown when and if Pangbourne Airport will offer regular commercial air service to San Francisco. And Douglas County announced that Waste Management has agreed to sponsor the North Central Washington Fair with a donation of $5,000 per year for the next 4 years. But first, we begin tonight. It's now official. At last night's Wenatchee City Council meeting, the council voted unanimously in favor of purchasing part of the old federal building, now owned by Local Telecommunications, to house its city government operations. Local Tel purchased the building at auction last April, and it offered a portion of the building to the city for its space needs. Along with the principal partners of Local Telecommunications, President Dimitri Mandelis commented on the long negotiation process before last night's council vote.
Months of negotiation, and it's actually been a very interesting experience for me. I've never done this before, and Steve they were just great to work with. They just couldn't have been better to work with them. I mean, they stood their ground and got what they wanted, and we got what we wanted, and I think we have a good agreement, and I think we're both pretty pleased with how far that we came in these 9 months. Had I known that 9 months ago, that it's that hard to do it, but we went through about every square foot of that building and figured out who should have it, what's the best, is it joint, is it ours, is it yours, who's going to heat it, who's going to cool it, who's going to clean it. It was an interesting process, so I'm happy to be almost done.
In the agreement, Local Tel will basically occupy the back portion of the old post office, while the city of Wenatchee will take up the front end. Local Tel was the high bidder at last year's auction, paying $3.9 million for the building. The estimated cost to the city of Wenatchee to purchase space in the Fed building is roughly $2.5 million. We will have an exclusive interview with Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz and Local Tel President Dimitri Mandelis regarding the city's purchase, coming up on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley next week. Well, it's still unknown when and if Pangbourne Airport will offer regular commercial air service to San Francisco. The Chelan County Port District's Executive Director, Pat Jones, provided an update on the project at this morning's breakfast meeting in Wenatchee.
We are still waiting on our federal administration to make decisions about our grant application. It is far, far slower processing than it has been in the past. We expected this to take place at the end of last year. We're hopeful that we're going to get a decision soon. We have talked to carriers. Those carriers are interested in our route. We need that federal match, 2-to-1 match to our contribution to really get the carriers to take a try on our route.
Jones also shared the latest news on the port's recent purchase of the Executive Flight Building and its plans for redevelopment.
The Port Commission, and I think a particularly smart move, recently approved the purchase of 2 executive flight buildings. One, their very nice hangar building, 64,000 square feet of office and hangar. And then the second building is a 24,000 square foot hangar that FedEx is in We think there's going to be net revenue from the purchase of those buildings that we can send to Pangborn for their operating and capital deficits. And again, one of our biggest regional challenges in the public sector for this public good is to find the money to regularly invest in Pangborn capital facilities so we make that the airport that we can be proud of.
Jones also updated the audience on the port's ongoing Cashmere Mill Site project, which is now entering the development stage with plans for constructing two 17,000 square foot buildings to be marketed for industrial and manufacturing businesses. In a press release yesterday, Douglas County announced that Waste Management has agreed to sponsor the North Central Washington Fair with a donation of $5,000 per year for the next 4 years. The release said, quote, "Waste Management is a true partner in our community, helping to bolster events like this that provide enrichment opportunities for our entire community." It goes on saying this private-public partnership represents the strong commitment to community growth, development, and engagement that Waste Management and Douglas County share. They said they cannot thank Waste Management enough for this support, and they look forward to working together to make the NCW Fair even better. Coming up next, Memorial Day weekend is one of the country's favorite times of year to go camping, but will campsites still be available with the recent flooding? Boating enthusiasts are worried with the recent flooding that there will be no boat launches to access around the area. And a Monroe man has joined Chelan PUD as a new superintendent in the Parks Department. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
I grew up with an addicted father. I became an addict myself, so we lost everything. We were homeless, so we found ourselves in a tent. That changed everything for me. The Work First program got me in touch with Goodwill. I could partner with Goodwill and get on-the-job training and get paid for it. It was the best decision that I've ever made. They didn't care that I had a background. They saw something inside of me. When people donate to Goodwill, they're actually helping fund these programs that I was involved in. I owe everything to Goodwill. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Welcome back. And in other news, Memorial Day weekend is one of the country's favorite time of year to go camping. That being said, this weekend is also one of the hardest times of year to find an available campsite. Robin DeMario, Public Affairs Specialist with the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, says hopefully you planned your trip early and with high water conditions this year, stay alert when camping near a water source.
Memorial Day weekend is like the big kickoff for the summer vacation season. And typically, it's not uncommon for almost all National Forest campgrounds to be filled up this weekend. And they fill up early, sometimes as early as Thursday afternoon. So folks do have to have alternative plans in place. Let's say if their first choice spot is filled up, then maybe they need to think, well, where would I go second or third or fourth? So to have that in mind as they're planning their weekend activity. Anytime you go camping and you wish to recreate near water, you need to be careful, but especially right now with the high water levels that we're experiencing in most of the rivers and streams. So what that means is don't put your tent right near the water's edge. Pull back from the water's edge and camp somewhere further away from it. Watch kids and pets so extremely carefully. You don't want them to even get near the edge of a riverbank. because the water's really fast and really cold and deep. So definitely take care with that.
DeMario also reminds campers to please use caution when driving on forest roads. Roads in the upper elevation areas may still have snow on them, and the Forest Service asks visitors to refrain from driving on muddy and snowy roads to avoid damaging them. Well, with one of the busiest travel and recreational weekends of the year upon us, many outdoor enthusiasts are concerned that with the recent flooding and boat launch closures, boating around the Wenatchee area won't be possible. Here's more on that story. Earlier this month, the Chelan County PUD was forced to close many area boat launches because of high water. While some of those launches remain closed, good news for recreationists this Memorial Day weekend. Many area boat launches will be open. They include Beebe Park, Chelan Falls Park, Doroga State Park, Eniat Park, and at Lincoln Rock State Park. However, boat launches at Hydro Park, Confluence Park, and Riverfront Park will remain closed this weekend. If your fun takes you up to the Chelan Manson area, all 12 boat ramps will be open for Memorial Day weekend, including Old Mill Park in Manson and Lakeshore Marina in Chelan. Boaters are asked to be careful because the strong current and likely presence of debris in the river can increase boating dangers. Grant Olson, NCWLIFE News. A Monroe man has joined Chelan PUD as a new superintendent in the Parks Department. Kyle Endelman, a parks professional with more than 20 years' experience, comes to Chelan PUD from Sammamish, where he was Parks Deputy Director. Endelman joins the leadership team with fellow Parks Superintendent Ray Height and Parks Manager Ryan Baker. They work with about 40 seasonal and full-time staff to manage activities and maintain facilities, offering trails, sports fields, swimming, boat launches, picnicking, and camping. Endelman will oversee PUD parks in Chelan and on the Columbia River above Rocky Reach Dam. Well, veterans groups will be assembling at area cemeteries as part of Memorial Day activities planned in the Wenatchee Valley. Monday's events calendar starts with a ceremony at the Wenatchee City Cemetery on Western Avenue. That begins at 9 a.m. The venue then moves to Evergreen Cemetery in East Wenatchee. That will be followed by the annual Wreath Lane ceremony located mid-span on the Columbia River Pedestrian Pipeline Bridge. The day culminates with a special flag-raising ceremony at Pybus Public Market. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
I love nature, but I signed up to lease Hondas, not take a hike.
I know, right?
Hey, everybody, come on up. The reason why I brought you out here is for a great team building exercise.
Customer wants to talk lifetime warranty. Can I go?
Yeah, go, go, go.
Hey, us too, we gotta go.
Go, 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 go.
It turns out some people are more likely to do well at Charter College and succeed in a new career. So, what's this charter type? Charter types are go-getters. Charter types follow through. Charter types love a challenge. If you're a hard worker looking for a fast path to a better career, you're just our type. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
And now it's update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy finally Friday before we get to a very busy weekend. Let's jump right to the calendar. And the WIAA State High School Championships are in full swing. First of all, we'll begin with the State 4A Soccer Championships at Spark Stadium in Puyallup. That's where the Eastmont Wildcats are in the semifinals today against Pasco. That's coming up at 6. Other semifinal pits Skyline against Sumter at 8. The losers play for 3rd and 4th tomorrow at noon. The winners will play for the championship at 5 o'clock. The Wenatchee Panthers' wait is finally over as they're in the 4A championship in baseball after a thrilling win over Moses Lake last weekend. Wenatchee's in Pasco today to face Skyview. State 4A semifinals. Other semifinal has Richland taking on Federal Way. The losers, oh, by the way, Richland did lose in that game to Federal Way. No, Richland won. Sorry, 11-0. That was the final. So Richland's in the championship game. We'll find out if Wenatchee's playing for that. By the way, you can go to WIAA.com for more information on that, about the state championships, which will be played tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Cashmere is in familiar territory at the State 1A tournament at County Stadium in Yakima. The Bulldogs face Kingsway Christian in the semifinals today. Other semifinal has Cedar Park Christian taking on Freeman tonight at 7. Losers play at 1 tomorrow. The championship game will take place at 7 o'clock. Brewster hoping to bring home some hardware for the State 2B tournament. They're in Centralia's Wheeler Field this weekend. The Bears face Adna today in the semifinals. That's tonight at 7. Other semi features Tri-Cities Prep and Kalama. The losers played tomorrow at 10 in the morning. The championship tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. That is the State 2B baseball tournament. To the 4A softball championships at Spokane's Dwight Markle Field. Not been a good day so far for the local teams. Double elimination tournament began this morning. Big 9 champ Moses Lake fell to Camas 12-1. Number 2 team of the Big 9, Eastmont, also on the short side today, falling to Central Valley 7-4. Both teams will have to come back through the consolation bracket. Cascade Lady Kodiaks in Tri-Cities for the State 1A softball tournament at Richland's Columbia Playfields. And ouch, that didn't go well for Cascade, falling in their first round game today to Elma 15-3. They're facing Bellevue Christian in the consolation bracket. Turning to the B tournament, Liberty Bell and Brewster representing North Central Washington teams at the State 2B tournament in Yakima's Gateway Sports Complex, and it didn't go well for them either. Lady Lions fell to Northwest Christian 9-4 this morning. Bears went into extra innings before falling to Unalaska 5-4. Liberty Bell and Brewster coming back through the consolation bracket. Whew. All right, we continue. Local tennis players begin play the WIAA State Tennis Championships today in the Tri-Cities and Yakima. The 4A tournament at Richland's Columbia Basin Racket and Athletic Club. The 1A tournament at the Yakima Tennis Club. 2-day event will wrap up tomorrow. State Track and Field Championships continuing today and conclude tomorrow. The 2A, 3A, 4A meets at Mount Tahoma Stadium at Kent Meridian High School. The 1B, 2B, 1A tournament on the red carpet there at Eastern Washington University in Cheney. Neat story. I heard that Angie Deichel's daughter broke her pole vault stick while participating at the State 2B tournament in Cheney. Other pole vaulters gave her their pole vaults in order for her to continue. Again, go to WIAA.com to follow all the action. We'll also try to keep you up to date on our Facebook page. Only one team of interest or one thing of interest happening this weekend on the calendar. Annual Sterling Invite Girls Softball Tournament tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday at the parks listed there. Mariners had their 5-game winning streak snapped in Oakland yesterday, falling to the A's by a final of 4-3. Felix Hernandez gave up all 4 runs in the first inning. He and 3 relievers shut him down after that. Gene Segura going 3 for 4 in the game. Kyle Seager delivered an RBI double in the 8th. Mariners return home to begin a 10-game homestand with the first of 3 of the weekend against Minnesota tonight. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz and Local Telecommunications President Dimitri Mandelis joined Dan Kuntz to discuss the federal building purchase and sale agreement on today's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program.
It's a long process, the stack of documents that are needed to create, the things that a mayor doesn't think about. You think about doing surveys of property and you put in the property corners. We surveyed the entire inside of the building, right? Because you have to know how much space is the elevator shaft, because that's shared. How much is going to be the mezzanine? Where's the line between Local Tel and the city on the main floor? And how do you divide up all the costs? And so you think of all of the complication that goes into making a condominium agreement out of a building that hasn't been condoed before, right, is a lot of work. And what we're trying to do is create flexibility, not only for Dimitri, but for the city. So at some point, if we decide to sell the top floor, well, it's a condo. We could sell it and get out of it. And so we're just trying to do all of the work ahead of time, knowing that maybe we'll keep it all. I'm guessing we probably would, but if times got tough and we needed to sell something, we could. Same with Local-Tel. So just it takes a lot of time to put those sorts of deals together when you're really trying to make sure that both sides have flexibility.
What about, go ahead, Dimitri, I'm sorry.
Well, but we broke the building up into 5 pieces. And the city owns 3 of them, and we own 2 of them, and they're all condoed. And like he said, we probably will be the owners, but it has some flexibility to be able to sell the building if we don't need it or we want to surplus it for some reason. We do have agreements, cross agreements, where the city would have first right to if we wanted to sell, and kind of vice versa.
You didn't have to do a big sales job to your business partners. Your business partners are the 34,000 people who call Wenatchee home. Selling this deal to the city council, was it an uphill slog, or did they understand this needs to be done?
I think the city council has always been a very strong proponent of this, maybe in some respects more so than myself, to be honest with you. You know, when you look at the federal building, it sort of looks like a government building. We're clearly out of space. And I think the city understands this is office space for the city for the next 50 to 100 years. And there's times as council members, that's what you're thinking about. You're not thinking about what pothole gets fixed tomorrow. It's what are we doing to leave the city in a better spot. We're busting at the seams at the current office. I don't have an office at the current city hall.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, my brother's office is actually in the conference room. He has just a small little desk set up in the corner, and that's it.
Which is fine for me, but they think I should have more. And over at Public Works, the top floor is full and busting at the seams. And so we really need some room for growth. The issue is how much, what's the right business model, and we're looking at remodeling a major portion of the old post office portion, the mail sorting center and all that. Yet when you look at all-in costs with the square footage of building that we're getting, plus the remodel for City Hall, we're going to be into $12 to $13 million. I think the last City Hall built in the Tri-Cities was $22 million, and Spokane Valley's at $19 million, and so we're really getting an awful good bang for our buck in terms of square footage, the ability to expand, and then I think. Some of the architectural plans we've seen, when you drive down Chelan and you look to the right, there's just a whole bunch of marble. And a lot of that's going to become glass now, so you'll be able to see the city offices working. It'll be where our new city hall will be able to handle the new technology that's going on. So I really think from a long-term perspective, it's the right thing for us to do. The council's been very supportive getting us to this point. The only discussion we really had was, do you buy the 3rd floor or not? And we paid slight premium for the 3rd floor, which I think is fine from a business perspective. So then how do you use your old city hall? We do have the Social Security Administration looking at that. We haven't got a deal signed. So I really think overall this little area is going to be the government center for a long, long time, and we're just going to be part of that with Local-Tel on the backside and in the basement.
So by buying the top 2 floors, you're inheriting some tenants, which means the city is going to be collecting some rent now,
yes,
right?
We've got some very nice cash flow off the top two floors. Depending on how the Social Security thing sort of works, we may actually have to move City Hall temporarily into one of the floors. Depends on how things sort of work, so we're sort of working through some of the details on that. But big picture is it's great square footage for us. It's in the right location. It's on that edge of town where you're starting to get into South Wenatchee, and we are really, the city in particular wants to make sure that part of our town is successful. We're going to do a $3 or $4 million fix-up to the park just down the street, Madhow Park, and so just starting to make kind of the south end as we start working that way just a real asset to our city, and I think just having a say in the federal building is important for us.
We'll be back with the recap of some of our top stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Walk and Roll Wenatchee's Asian Express is fast, fresh food. Wenatchee Roll's new Poke Hawaiian Fresh Salad Bar is the best. Fresh greens, fresh seafood, and handmade sauces. You know what you want. At Walk and Roll, create your own style meal. Hot off the line chicken, beef, and veggie plates. Lunch or dinner to match your appetite. Fresh sushi, hot entrees, Poke Fresh Salad Bar. It's new. It's Walk and Roll Wenatchee, fast, fresh food your way. Located on 5th and Mission.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Time now for a check of that local North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to the details of your long Memorial Day weekend weather-wise, let's take a look outside our weather window. Once again, our Orondo camera, courtesy of Sky-Fi, and we are seeing some high clouds out there. Beautiful shot though, and temperatures very mild today, upper 70s to around 80 for most of us today. And boy, it's just going to get warmer as we make our way into the Memorial Day weekend. As we take a look at our surface loop, once again, it's our temperature map today, and we are seeing upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Lots of warm temperatures all over the west, especially as you'd expect in the desert southwest, where 100-degree temperatures will be common today and for our Memorial Day weekend. As we move into Saturday, there is an area of low pressure down in southern Oregon that will bring us a few clouds. It's going to move through, but there's a cold front right behind that. So as you can see, we're seeing yellow and green on our map for Saturday, only in the upper 70s for Saturday, and then right back to the heat on Sunday. We will top off in the mid-80s for your Sunday as we get right into the Memorial Day weekend. It's going to stay warm around the west, and on your Memorial Day, it could be the hottest day of our entire forecast, with forecasted temperatures in the upper 80s on Monday, and even down in the Tri-Cities area, we could see temperatures there in the lower 90s. So boy, we just couldn't ask for a better Memorial Day weekend weather forecast. And let's check it out. 83 today. I don't know if we'll make that or not. We will see 55 for an overnight low tonight. Tomorrow, 77. That'll be our coolest day of the weekend. It will be windy on Saturday as well. Out of the west, 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts even higher than that. And then the beautiful weather takes over on both Sunday and Monday. 86 Sunday. 88 on your Memorial Day Monday, and then a cool down, and we will see that trend continue next week. 79 Tuesday, 76 Wednesday, and 75 on Thursday. As we leave you tonight, Chelan County District 1 shared this video of crew members participating in their annual physical agility test. The standard time for the obstacle course is 8 minutes or less. So far, the time to beat is 3 minutes, 52 seconds.
Come on, buddy, let's go. Get in the box. Hit it. Get those legs moving.
Here's where you catch your breath. Take deep breaths.
Come on, baby, breathe. One more lap.
3 minutes.
Come on, buddy. 3 minutes.
You have it.
3 minutes. Let's go. Breathe, breathe. You hit that sled, man. Hit it hard. Go, 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 go. Don't stop. Let's go. Hit it. Drive, drive, drive. Come on, come on, come on. All the way through. Woo! Yeah.
That's rough. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. We will not have news on Monday, but make sure you keep it right here on the NCW Life channel Tuesday morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great Memorial Day weekend. About what?
Well, I'll just let it run till it's done.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, because it's on the news.
Yeah.
I get the credits to roll.
See, now we're there.